Hi, everybody. I hope you're well. Today is segment 10, Focus and Final Thoughts. Focus, for me, is extremely important if the audience is going to follow everything that you say and do. Focus is a specific image you see between any two pieces of punctuation, especially in the folio. We would call this a phrase. Several phrases may or may not have the same focus. I believe that William Shakespeare wrote his plays in pictures, that they're all word pictures. When you see the picture, you will definitely need the words. If you do this whole process, that will encourage your imagination to start to see pictures. Each focus will be a specific person, place, image, or thing in which you can make a direct connection with your eyes. You inhale from this point, aim your energies at it, and direct or fire a specific action at this target. When the words hit the target, they explode into a word picture. The audience, in their ear of their imagination, follows you by seeing these pictures as you speak. This action will change or fix the receiver, place, or thing you are talking about. Thus, you keep the audience involved through the ear of their imagination. If you are focused, they will see the movie and clearly be involved in this performance. When you are doing a soliloquy or a duologue, that you must see triangles. You are the top of the triangle, and what you're talking to or about is called a downstage marker. Downstage markers are specific people, places, images, or things that are on stage or not on stage that you refer to in your text. We used before Brutus. When he's talking to Cassius, he says, "Did not great Julius bleed?" And I said to you all that Brutus must see Caesar being stabbed on the steps of the Lupercal, even though that happened 20 minutes ago in the play. He needs to see that image. And then we said he turns to Cassius and said, "What shall one of us?" That's the word picture that he sees, or the downstage marker. These must be placed on diagonals, so that they can play out towards the audience, and also the audience will be able to see both of your eyes. When you turn horizontally, you only can see one eye, and the audience is being cheated. You don't want to do that. You don't want half of a performance. You want a full performance. Your eyes are also very important because they're the windows of your soul. So they really see what's going on when they see what's happening in your eyes. Remember, the audience, if they see the images, you will need these words and they will need these pictures. You must use your 5 senses when describing these images. If your words hit a specific target and complete an action, you will make the audience participate and listen. I would like to use a direct quote from a very wonderful book called Mastering Shakespeare by Scott Kaiser. It's a great book, and I encourage you all to get it and read it. Scott writes, "No focus is when your eyes wander, your physical energies are not focused. When your physical energies are not focused, you have no breath support. When your voice lacks resonance, your speech lacks vocal variety. When your speech lacks vocal variety, it seems like one long generalized action. When this happens, no one will listen to you. You look confused when your eyes don't have any place to land, and when there's no target, the words do not have an action." Stage directions are a gift from Shakespeare because he's telling you exactly what to do. The first stage direction we discussed was when we did Speak the Speech, and Hamlet says to the actors, "Do not saw the air too much your hand thus, but use all gently." Another one is, "Thou hast hit it, Come sit on me, Petruchio, stage direction. Run, Orlando, run, another stage direction. Cesario / Viola says to Olivia, farewell, fair cruelty. So the farewell meant move away. That was her way of Shakespeare's way of getting her towards the door to make an exit quickly. Do what he tells you on the word, and it will keep you in the moment. You will stay in the moment. Stage directions can also tell you what to do with language. Cry havoc. We talked about this with energy language, so you should raise your volume, and it takes a lot more energy to do that. Enobarbus in Antony and Cleopatra says, follow faster. That could be Shakespeare's way of telling Enobarbus, this phrase you can pick the pace up. Queen Margaret, when she's about to kill York, talks about high descent. She could be changing her pitch by going up and then going down. Again, we said volume, pitch, inflection, intonation were the best tools for vocal variety, and Shakespeare was always trying his best to help his actors. These are verbal stage directions, and they tell you when to get louder, softer, faster, and slower. We've given you some examples by learning how to change the weight of a word. When the word is elongated, it goes from literal, comical, farcical, absurd. That is one of the ways to get vocal variety. And please find specific examples in your own speeches. Now that we've finished with focus, normally I go into staging. However, because of the pandemic and I can't get real actors, and staging needs real actors moving around, now I'm going to give you my final thoughts. What we've done is process. Everything that you have done is a step-by-step process. This handout will be in your segment 10, and it's learning versus memorizing. It's right brain versus left brain. You see that it follows everything we've done. Prose versus poetry, consonants, vowels, capitalized words, all of that is in there. But the second phase is where I want you to have fun. I want you to do it with a Southern accent, an Italian accent, an Irish accent. They can be bad accents. These unlock your choices and they're fun. Sing it, it teaches you the breath. Dance it, because movement goes beyond meaning. And then I hope you can buy a kazoo. I have normally given my classes kazoos, but the kazoo gives you phrasing, it gives you vocal variety, it gives you breath support, and again, it's fun. Look up the words. Then I want you to write it as a tree. There's a wonderful book drawing on the right side of your brain. Normally we read from top to bottom. So this, your first line is going to go diagonal. Then you're going to have to turn the page to see where line number 2 is. Then you have to turn the page again to find line number 3, turn the page to find line number 4. And what happens is you don't get into the pattern of rote. It's new, it's fresh, and you're making discoveries as you go along. Find the bawdy jokes, find the focus, see the pictures. When you see the pictures, I want you to think of this book, Anomalia, by a man whose name is Graham Bass. I'm hoping I'm saying it the right way. I've never met Graham. And we're going to show you the picture of K's. Look how colorful he makes his words. And he uses alliteration. Kid, kookaburra, and Kelly, kangaroo, kidnapping, kitty, koala. And then we're going to turn to N's. 9 nautical newts navigating near Norway. Please remember what I said. When you see the pictures, you will need the words. So seeing the pictures is really important. Now, I said I was your guide. Another final thought. What if all of this did not work for you? It's just too much. As your guide, my job is to get you to the end another way. And I would ask you to read chapters 16 and 17 in my book, Willpower. The one chapter 16 is what the Greeks did. They gave you the choice of you could make the line dramatic, lyric, epic, which is the same thing as an admit, right? No editorializing, or antithetical, which is a volcano exploding. Usually comedy, but can be drama. So that's another choice. Read the chapter. If that doesn't work for you, you can also read a wonderful book called Games People Play by Dr. Eric Berne. It gives you every situation that happens in life, the game that entails it, the rules, and the outcome, who wins and who loses. That's another choice. But he, in that book, says when we speak, we are either a parent, a child, or an adult. An example would be Caesar is on stage, and all of a sudden, Calpurnia comes running out, and she says, "Caesar, you shall not stir forth." So she's being a parent. And Caesar turns around as a child and says, "Caesar shall stir forth." I would ask you to still make sure that you're doing what Aristotle gives us, which is the pasto, the preparation, the attack, the struggle, the turning point, and the outcome. You always need to have your beats and the energies in each beat. The next thing I'd like to talk about is very personal. It's character. And I believe the characters are three-dimensional. You look one way, you feel different, and what you do in life can be completely opposite than that. The example I like to use is Cyrano de Bergerac. If you haven't read the play, read the play. This is a man who has a very long nose, and he's a soldier. So he's not good looking. His job is a soldier, but inside he's very romantic. He's very poetic, and he's a great speaker. So it makes him three-dimensional. What you need to do to be three-dimensional is you need to remember that we talked about internal and external obstacles. Your external obstacle is the person, place, or thing standing in your way or what you want. Your internal obstacle is the personal conflict within that makes it difficult for you to achieve what you want. This is important in theater, film, and television. I would like to use this picture that I have saved since 1978. This is a little boy who's blind being held by an old man. Look at the hands that are on his shoulders. They're like my hands, they're wrinkled. The little boy is holding a fish and he's smiling. And I'm thinking, this is pure joy. This is the first time this person ever felt a fish. And this old man introduced it to him. Why I'm bringing this up to you is because William Shakespeare was somehow able to write first times in his plays. Romeo and Juliet, their love, it's a first time. Miranda and Ferdinand, it's a first time. And things happen in these first times. I think Miranda grew up on an island with a father. Did she get lots of hugs and physical attention? And she all of a sudden sees this new person in her life. What is it that she really wants? What's the humanity? And I believe that in her speech, "I do not know one of my sex," is that she's maybe just wanting to touch him and see what he feels like. If you watch children play, what they do all the time is touch. The next final thought, I'm going to read you a poem, but I'm going to read it in French. Un petit d'un petit, s'attendait à. Un petit d'un petit, ah, de grete fal. Indolet que nor se, indolet que nor semen, que import un petit d'un petit together regime. Now you might ask, why would John do that? Well, let's just read one more. Little Miss Moffat sat on ne toffet, eating some queue and noué. Along came a spider, et sat down beside her, and fradon Miss Moffat, away. So those are French poems, and some of you might have heard in the first one, un petit d'un petit. Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty, a great fall. The other one you might have heard, little Miss Muffet sat on a tuffet, eating some curds in the way. If you use the first folio technique, if you use your verbal conceits, color your words, use your capitalizations, make your verbs propellers, you have no idea what the audience really hears because everyone hears something different. Some of them hear the real story no matter what. I must end with a quote. And today's quote will come from Shakespeare's supposed last play, The Tempest. Prospero looks at Ferdinand and Miranda, and he says to Ferdinand, "Be cheerful, sir. Our revels now are ended. These are actors, as I foretold you, were spirits, and are melted into air, into thin air." A couple more lines down, he says my favorite quote. "We are such stuff as dreams are made on, and our little life is rounded with a sleep." I hope all of your dreams come true, and that in my small way, this has helped. Take care, and I hope to see you soon.